Today I am going to be showing you how to build a super simple sea pickle farm for Minecraft. So the item list for this machine will be in the description below, so you can go check it out if you need the items. Or if you're building this on survival, it's much easier to have like an item list. Also, if you have any questions about the farm or anything like that, then put it in the comment section below, as I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Now I'm going to move on to the tutorial and also how it works and how to work the machine, and kind of like a little basic sort of idea of how it works in a way. So I'm going to move on to that now. So now I'm going to move on to how to use the machine and how it works in a way. So the way to use the machine is you need to pull this lever. So if I flick it now, as you can see, the bone meal up there, so like you've got a bone meal sort of dispenser, that dispenses onto the sea pickle, which grows it, and then it grows sea pickles around the area. So that's how this machine works. It's quite a clever little machine. And then it goes up the water stream. I've got soul sand to make it move up quicker, and then it goes into this chest here. I haven't had it running for that long, and that's really good for like sea pickles. You really won't need too many sea pickles. It's like, well, I don't really think there's much point to this farm anyway, but you probably won't need too many sea pickles. It's more of a decoration block, and you can also use it in item sorters. So you probably won't need a super efficient farm, so this farm will probably be perfect for like your needs, everything like that. So how it works is this just moves back and forward, and that breaks the sea pickles. I've got like a little redstone, so I'll break down here. I've got like a little redstone block down here using repeaters. It's quite simple. I'll get rid of this now. And that's pretty much how the farm works. It's quite simple. Now onto the tutorial. So first you're going to need to find a nice area to build it. So build it anywhere but a snowy tundra, as snowy tundras can freeze up water, so you don't really want that to happen at all. So try and build it anywhere but there. So you can build it in a plains or a desert biome, or somewhere like that. So now we're going to place like a little ledge here. So this is like 5 by 1 sort of ledge. I'm going to place some redstone on top of here. So this is the first section. I'm going to place an extra one here as well, because there's going to be a redstone torch under there. Now we're going to put some pistons across here. Next we're going to put some soul sand, and then we're going to make sort of a temper area. So we can't put any coral in yet because there's no water. So first we're just going to put some temp blocks in, and this is going to be sort of where the coral will be. So we'll break this after we've added water. So I'm just need to. So once you sort of place this sort of ledge in, we're going to place a second area here. So actually I'm going to place it back here, so that you can actually move this into the pistons. Otherwise the machine won't work. So you kind of see what I'm doing here. So I've got this sort of section here. So now in the middle we can put some soul sand too, like that. So you're going to have some coral up here as well, and in these temp block areas here. So now we're going to place sort of some nice blocks. So try and use like something that looks nice, maybe like smooth stone, like what I'm using. Or you can use iron or whatever block you have spare. You might even want to use cobblestone. It doesn't really matter too much, this is just going to be your basic building block. So now we're going to place in a next section. So we're going to place in some glass across there. We're going to place it over the pistons, and we're going to place some glass here. So actually I think it'll be better if we place it in here. So actually I shouldn't break that actually. So place some glass in place like this. Now on to the next step. So now you're going to need more glass. We're going to be making an extra layer. So I'm just going to get some glass. We're going to be placing the same thing but one higher. So we're just going to be making another intersection here. And then there's going to be another one, but except it's going to be a bit different. So we're not going to fill in that bit here. We're just going to fill in this sort of C sort of shape. So you'll have this sort of exit here. So now I'm going to place some temp blocks up here. So actually, instead of doing that, you could also fill this whole thing. You could just fill this whole thing with ice, and then have the top sections here. So these bits all will be water source. So all of this will be a water source, and then you'll have like the water sources here. So what I'm gonna do from now. See, this is the harder method, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because like I can't really break ice because I'm not in survival. So if I just place some blocks up here, Now I could get a hopper as well, just to make it easier. And I'm just going to place the hoppers across here. So I'm going to be doing it this method. So if I place some hoppers across here, place a block here, another hopper here, and some more glass. And I'm just going to close it off now, stop water from escaping. Now let's place some water sources here. So now we need the water sources facing into here, and then after we've done that, so you have to have all of this like this. Now I'm going to break all these blocks here, which is what you're supposed to do. I'm going to go underwater. Now it does look like there's a water source all under here, but actually there's none. So what we're going to do is we're going to place some water sources in. So I'm just going to do it on these corners here, and also here. And you'll see these bubble columns are actually going to start working. So I'm going to also do this on this side here. And the way to tell if it's a water source is the bubble columns should be working like this. If they're not working, then you've done it a bit wrong and you haven't placed all the water sources in. So that's the water source bit done. So now, if you want to, you can replace this all with coral. So replace all these blocks here with coral. All of these blocks have to be coral, otherwise you won't get as many sea pickles spawning as you want. So just replace all of this with coral and then put the middle one. So you need to figure out which one's the middle. So this one here is the middle, as when you move this across, this one will be here. So this soul sand will be under this. So that's the way you can tell if that's a water source. No, not a water source, I mean. If the coral's in the right place. So that's pretty much it for this bit. Now we need to move on to the next bit. Now, moving on to the next bit. So now we're going to need the chest. So I'm going to get a chest right here. So if I place the chest on the end of this hopper here, so I'm going to place it like that. So use a double chest because they can store more stuff. Now I'm going to put some blocks up here, just to make a nice little lever, because you don't want a nice little like area for it to stay, because you don't want to look like it's floating. It will look a bit silly. So now I'm going to place in a lever. So I'm going to place the lever on top of this block here. You could, if you want to, just have it like this and have the block here to cover up with the redstone, because you don't want the redstone to be visible because it'll look a bit ugly. So we're just going to put a lever here. Now on to the next bit. So I'm going to break down here. So now I'm going to place in a block here, some redstone up here. So when I click lever, it turns on and off. Then we're going to get a comparator, place it on subtract mode, and we're going to be making a clock. So you might have seen this clock before. So it's just a repeater clock. So how it works is when the redstone goes across here, when the output goes into here, it will send a large output through here, which will turn this off, turning the whole thing off, and then it will be on again. So it will just keep repeating that and that a lot of times. So now I'm going to put some redstone across here. So I'm going to break out around here. So just to figure out where I am, so I'm going to put a redstone torch here. So it's more to figure out where exactly I am in the underground area, and then a redstone torch here. So now if I replace this, and I'll just cover up this as well. As you can see, you've got the redstone circuit on one side. Now you need to build it on the other side. So it's exactly the same, except you don't need the extra torch. So I just need to figure out where I am. Okay, so what I'm going to do though, this is a bit different. You have to do it a little bit different for this one. So I'm going to have this section here. Just put some redstone across here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a piston here. Now this is to update this circuit, because sometimes it's a bit slow. And it kind of needs a bit of an update. So it's to make sure this machine actually works, because you do get that problem where it doesn't update. And you should get this. Without this piston here, this wouldn't move at all. It's kind of annoying. I don't know what happens really. I feel like it's like a little bit of a bug or something, but I'm not too sure really. So that's pretty much the circuit done. Now you just need the last bit, which is the bit where it dispenses bone meal on the sea pickle. So I'm going to move on to that bit now. Now onto the last bit. So now you're going to need your glass. So we're going to be making a glass roof. So if I get some glass right here, and just place it across like that, and we're just going to make a full-on glass roof. But we're going to leave this section here in the middle here. and also one to the side here. So I'll show you what I mean, because that kind of sounds a bit confusing in my mind. So I'm just going to place some glass across here, and we're just going to sort of make a section into here, and we're going to leave this section here. So that's where the dispenser will be. So now I'm going to get a sea pickle for now, and I'm just going to put it in here. So I'm going to put like a quadruple sea pickle, because then that should be enough. Now I'm going to get a dispenser, so I place a temp block here, and I put a dispenser up here, and then break the temp block, and that should be fine. Now I'm going to get some redstone, place it up here, and then the hopper here, and then a chest, and that's where your bone meal supply will go in. You can make it bigger by putting another hopper on top, and having a bigger chest, but it really doesn't matter that much. You could have a chest here if you want to, so something like that. It really doesn't matter too much, because like you're probably not going to be running this farm too much. Now we're going to put a block on top of here. We're going to put a repeater, an observer, and we're going to put a note block. So yeah, I've got an block, and then another block here, and then we're going to have sort of a observer. So I'm going to put the observer here, like that, and another one here. Now you don't want to hear this all the time, so I'm going to put a block up here to stop you from hearing it. It can get quite annoying at times. Now I'm going to put some blocks here, a note block here, and then a second, well actually that's more of like a fourth observer, and we're going to put that up here. Now the last thing you need to do is to get some bone meal, so I'm going to type up bone meal. So you need bone meal to run this farm, so you can either use a melon pumpkin farm and put that into a composter to get bone meal, or you could use pretty much any other farm that uses a composter, or you could even use like a skeleton grinder or something like that. But it really doesn't matter how you get your bone meal, as long as you can get like enough of it to fill this whole farm up, that's fine. So I'd say maybe just have this much, and that should be like how much you need for like a lifetime. So now that's pretty much the farm done. So now how to run it, I'm going to show you how to run it. So click the lever, I've pretty much already shown it. And as you can see, you'll start getting sea pickles. You don't get too many per bone meal, but you can't really do too much about that. And sometimes they do like stay down there for a little bit, because they're not always in the proper column. And it just takes a bit of time for them to actually get into this. But it's not long enough that they'll just despawn, so that's quite good. And you also do get some that get stuck under there, but you really don't lose too many from that. And also, it doesn't really matter too much, because you get so many sea pickles anyway. That's pretty much almost a stack in like no time, which is really good for what it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video and also found it useful. If you want to, you can subscribe, but I really don't mind, because I do this for fun and everything. Like this is quite enjoyable, making these sort of farms, and also designing them too. And also I love to do redstone too. So if you want to see more of that sort of stuff, then you can subscribe. And also if you want to, you can leave a like too, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful. And I'll see you in the next video if you're going to watch any more of my videos. Goodbye.